and welcome to the Geeks Who Like Sports mashup.
Mashup.
As always, I'm Ray Carsillo, and that's my best friend Lee Elias. Lee, we got a good one for the folks today.
This is
A
a good one.
A lot of folks doing a lot of stuff with AI lately. Some of it's
not
fun.
Pronounced AI.
It's
AI. AI, huh? Ooh, I never knew that. All the movies and the things we've said, I thought it was AI.
Yeah, and someone got the idea, and Lee sent this to me, that to give basically Star Wars characters Pokemon in AI if they had Pokemon, and who they would get. And there are some really interesting ideas here. We got 6 of them. We're gonna go over them. It's a fun kind of mix up of things, and we're gonna discuss.
Right, and let me just give credit. I always like to give credit to the people who do this. I don't know if this is the person who originated these images, but he is the person who posted them on a page I follow called Star Wars Valhalla. It's Geeks Who Like Sports. You all understand. His name is Xavier Boxstall. I hope I'm saying your name right. But he shared several images. We're going to go through 6 of them. You're going to see them on the screen. If you're watching, if you're listening, we'll try and describe you. But it's basically a major Star Wars character. We're going to start with like Princess Leia. And she is next to a Pokemon. We're going to say, yeah, that makes sense for her. That's who she might have by her side. Or no way, it would be this person. Ray, I will let you host this episode.
Yeah, so Leia, we start things off with what looks basically kind of like the ice variant of a Ninetales. It's similar to that. It's not quite, but it is that fox type, and it is definitely, it's got the white fur coat, not the red or the yellow, so it's definitely not the fire version. So I don't know. I feel like it's just because she's on Hoth in this picture, or assuming she's on Hoth, that they gave her an ice type. I don't think Princess Leia would have an ice type. I think she's not that cold. I guess she got almost frozen in space, and then Mary Poppins her way back into the starship in the new trilogy. But I don't agree with this one, Lee. I think she'd be more of a leader type. I think more of a Gardevoir, which is a fairy psychic type. I think would be more her style than this icy Ninetales. Lee, what are your thoughts?
I think you're a massive geek, and I am so proud of you that you knew all of that off the top of your head. Yeah, like, I think aesthetically in this picture, it looks good. That could also be an Eevee, like an evolved Eevee of some sort.
Sure. But it's still an ice type, like a Glaceon. I think that I don't think ice is what I think of Princess Leia.
I could see her as an Eevee only because Eevee evolves in so many different ways, and so does Princess Leia when you think about her throughout the entire trilogy. So that's kind of where my brain went. So if it's an Eevee kind of situation that can kind of keep changing, which is not a real thing in Pokemon, that's where my brain went. But I think you're right about the leadership type. A fairy type would make a lot of sense. I mean, it looks like she's in the episode 4 here, kind of on her Corvette.
That's true. It might be. Yeah, the image is very tiny on my phone.
No, it's okay. It's okay. There's a Hoth-based one here, but yeah, I think that's a good one for Leia. Now, number 2, Ray, is one, we're going to Vader, right?
Sure.
And I think, it's tough because it's either going to be a dark and or electrical type or both. Right?
Yeah, it looks like, and also real quick, just want to go back to Leia. If it's an Eevee, it should be an Espeon then, because it requires high friendship to evolve, and it's still a psychic type. And Leia always stands by her friends and her family, and so I think that's also
friends have come and gone. Yeah, I agree with you on that.
For Vader, it looks almost like the Pokemon in the game is almost like you said, like a dark electric, but it's a Gengar. It looks like a Gengar,
which of course is a ghost.
Gengar, which is a ghost which is ghost poison.
Right. Which would work too, kind of in this.
Sure. Yeah, I'm trying to think, like, with Vader, I mean, I'm trying to think of good dark types. The thing is Vader really wouldn't have a pet like a Pokemon, because it would require him to love at that point, and until the very end, that's kind of beyond him, I think. But
maybe it's a Pokemon then that he doesn't love, and he's fine just throwing it out and finding another.
That's awful. Well, then it would be Gengar, because that actually happened to Gengar in the cartoon, and that's awful.
So that might be why this happened.
That might be why it looks like a Gengar. And to be fair, Gengar can learn almost every type of move, so it could have like a thunder attack and like a dark attack, like a nightshade or whatnot. Yeah, and I'm trying to think of there's a Pokemon that I'm trying to think of. It looks like a wolf. It's black and red. And this is what happens when there's over 1,000 Pokemon now. Is I can't remember the names.
I thought of that one too, but for Maul. And there's no Maul one here.
Right.
I know exactly who you're talking about.
So I'm now pulling up Pokemon Go, because I know I have it in my Pokemon.
Get your Pokédex open. You're amongst friends.
Yeah. Oh, there's a raid
Gengar.
going on. There's a raid going on right now. Of course there is. Damn it.
Don't do the raid.
Buy time. Vamp. Leave. Vamp.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll go on to the next one. We'll come back to this one. The next
Okay.
one is Luke on Hoth, standing by what looks like an Arctic Vulpix.
Yeah, another
Yeah,
Vulpix, another ice type,
yeah.
which
I don't like this pick. I think that that's just because he's on Hoth in his X-wing costume. I think that this again is a little bit of a mainstream answer here, but Luke is a Mewtwo. I mean, he has to have a psychic ability. He has to be someone wise. Maybe not Luke in Empire Strikes Back wise, but that's where I would pick for him.
yeah, that or if you're on Hoth, he could be Vanilla Ups, which is
Yeah,
the vanilla ice cream cone because Luke is as vanilla as it gets.
I wholeheartedly agree with that. And then
So
moving
yeah,
on to number 4, it's Boba Fett on Tatooine with the dragon type. I don't know which Pokemon that would be here, Ray, but I don't agree. I think Boba Fett is pretty straightforward.
yeah,
It's a Cubone. Cubone would be Boba Fett's go-to Pokemon. I don't think
sure,
it's
yeah.
a hard pick there.
Yeah, and Professor Xavier's right. I literally just pulled it up myself. The Zora arc would be Vader's right, which is a dark type with the red mane, and I
I
think
just want to say how proud I am of our producer for being a font right there and coming through in the clutch with
yeah.
his Pokemon knowledge, just showing you that he is a geek.
Literally at the same time as Xavier typed it, I was like, oh yeah, it's right here to Zora arc and or Zorua, which is its base form, and it evolves into Zora arc, and then yeah, for Vader, that's what I was looking for.
Now I'm gonna move through the next two a little bit at the same time. So number 5 is young Anakin from episode 1. Number
Yeah,
6 looks like Anakin from Revenge of the Sith. Now
yeah,
number 5, young Anakin has a Pikachu, which actually kind of makes sense in a lot of ways. I think that's
yes.
just the way it would be with him. There's also, it looks like what is that, gigantic Blastoise statue?
It looks like it looks like something in the Squirtle family in the background, either a
Yeah,
Squirtle,
maybe
giant
that's just
Squirtle,
who
or
he's fighting, but Pikachu makes sense.
mega evolved Squirtle. But Pikachu makes 100% sense in this, especially it looks like a cross between a Pikachu and an Arcanine in the
Right.
next image.
Yeah,
Which
I have
so I mean
Arcanine written down. Yeah.
so I mean Arcanine. I mean
I
he
would have
does.
liked to have seen Raichu. I'm not gonna lie to you. That would have made a lot more sense
For
to me.
sure. But I mean, Anakin does get caught on fire on Mustafar, and so Arcanine would work there.
Raichu.
And actually, especially the Arcanine, the variant that's about the fire and a rock type. Like I think that absolutely defines Mustafar. So
Yeah,
that could almost
agreed.
be like foreshadowing for older Anakin's future if he were to have that one.
Yeah, it's
So
funny. There's like a little Pokeball just sitting there out of place next to him in that image too,
yeah.
which I thought was kind of funny. Now, listen,
That would be Padme's Pokemon that can't come out of the ball now because Padme died because she had a broken heart. So
yeah. Well, she's lost the will to live.
yeah, I believe
I wrote some notes here. We got a couple more. These aren't images, but we're going to discuss them. You could have a lot of fun with the ghost Pokemon with the Force Ghost. We're not going to do it, but you can get
yeah.
there. Maybe leave that one in the comments. But the two characters that I think we had to talk about are Han and Yoda.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yoda is a Pokemon.
Well, he kind of so I kind of went the other way with Yoda in the sense of like he probably have a gigantic Pokemon. So I went
Yeah.
with Torterra. I'm like, I could see him
I was just about to say he'd be a Torterra.
totally
Slow
like, oh,
moving.
small on him, but Pokemon
His hut could be on Torterra's back.
He's just in his hut on Torterra,
Yeah.
walking around Dagobah because he
Yep.
can. Turned into what's his name there for a second? He's out there with his Pokemon on the Torterra. What's he gonna do? All right. I do that a little too well. I don't know how I got that guy so nailed. All right, Han Solo. Now, there's two ways to go with this, Ray. I think of two things when I think of Han Solo. I think of scoundrel, but I also think of Chewbacca. So my kind of Chewbacca pick, which is not replacing him, is Stoutland or Herbie.
I was just about to say, absolutely,
right.
it's absolutely Stoutland,
but
for sure.
Kind of a long shot, scoundrel. I'm gonna put you on the spot a little bit. It's okay if you know the answer. There is a Pokemon with a attack called the Scoundrel Ring. And I was like, this makes a lot of sense for Han Solo. He would have this Pokemon.
Yeah, I
Starts with an H. Sounds like a villain from Mario Brothers.
I don't know. I don't know off the top of my head.
Hoopa would be it. And he can.
Oh, yeah, Hoopa, the legendary Hoopa.
It is there's no shame. It's a very deep pick. But when you're Han Solo, you have to have
Hoopa's weird though. Hoopa's weird.
So is Han Solo, and that's why we love him.
Yeah, I don't know if Han's that weird.
Scoundrel ring is the attack. It makes perfect sense. That should be Han's attack.
Yeah, but would Han have a legendary? Could Han
The
catch a
legendary has
legendary?
Han. The legendary summons Han Solo.
I could see that happen. Absolute Hoopa could
Han
absolutely.
Solo,
Yeah,
I choose you.
yeah. That makes a lot more
Someone
sense,
order a
especially from
Han.
Hoopa. Yeah.
I love you, Han. I know.
And on that note,
No. Wait. Just before we end this, I love you, Han. The song says friendship, and that you know, you take me and I'll take you. I'm doldruming on. We can delete that. On that note,
you were the one who's on a schedule, not me.
Hey, but we want to know
what you think.
So comment below.
Always,
take a look at the pictures.
Below.
Yeah,
Get
make sure you go to the
shared,
Facebook page.
Comment. We appreciate it as always. We hope you have a great and wonderful weekend. We'll be back next week with more Geeks Who Like Sports. But until then, that's Lee. I'm Ray, and this has been the Mashup.
Mashup.